Hey everyone, I hope you're well. So, I want to share this very important thing with all of you today, and it has to do with taking your power back in the journey. And what that means is that when the divine feminine feels helpless in the twin flame connection, especially with the behavior of the divine masculine, with regards to what the divine masculine is doing in the 3D world, and she reacts to it and she feels very upset by it or very triggered by it. That is what I want to just tell you about, that those are literally the areas where you have to take your power back in, and they are symptomatic of other areas from your past. They are triggering memories of your past connections, your past experiences, where you were in helpless situations, where you felt helpless. Your divine masculine literally doesn't do anything new to traumatize you or to make you go through anything negative or bad, but their job is just to trigger parts of you that are unseen, unloved, and memories, impressions inside of you where you felt helpless, where you gave your power away. Why it is important to take your power back from past situations is because those impressions are important. The events per se are not important. Let us say you had a bad relationship 10 years ago. The event of that bad relationship or what you suffered is not important, but the response that you gave to that, the reaction that you gave, and how you really felt and what you really needed, that is very important. So, because somewhere if that caused, a feeling of I'm not worthy, or because this person rejected me, and this could be many years ago, this could be decades ago, and the experience, if it was that I was rejected by this person, I wasn't loved by this person, I wasn't supported by this person, then that experience caused you to have a belief system that you're not worthy, that you're not lovable, and that is what you re-experience with your twin flame through various situations that come up in your journey, and you basically get an opportunity to go back to that place where you felt like this and reparent yourself and bring yourself back to you and give yourself that power that you needed. So, the way I would recommend you to look at your healing is to always utilize the present as like a point, a push point for you to go back to the past. So if you experience something right now, jump back into seeing where is it coming from, and that is a really, really wonderful and powerful way. And know that you are not meant to feel helpless in your connection. You are not meant to feel like your life is over if your twin flame is not in your life, because that is often the feeling that many people have, that my life was already hell and it was really painful, and then I met him and I trusted him with everything, and then he left, and for those few moments I had a really good time, I had something to live for, I had something to look forward to, and then I don't have anything anymore. No. Why do you say that? Like, literally just go within and see what a beautiful gift your life is. And it is natural and normal to not value your life, because we don't live life where we value life. We live life in the sense where life is something where we are constantly struggling. Everybody makes life to be this struggle that it is, right from when you're born. You could have experienced it at home where your parents were acting like life is a struggle. You have to make ends meet with a lot of difficulty, or you have to always try super hard, to do things, and you always have to compete, or they compared you with other people. So you then started to struggle in school. Schooling is just like, I don't have words for how bad and pathetic schooling experiences are for many people. They are truly disempowering. I've recorded a podcast on this and I will upload it soon. But the point is that you basically start believing life is this massive struggle, and then you see all painful experiences happen. And truly, this is what your awakening is about, that it is to realize what is really life about and who are you, and what is really all of this that is happening, where is it coming from. And this kind of a trigger when you receive from your twin flame, where you get triggered by what they do in the physical, and you can bring it back to what you have experienced in the past, it actually gives you an opportunity to decode life and to understand that your perception of life is basically formed by all of these experiences and all of these belief systems. And now you have an opportunity through twin flame mirroring to release these perceptions and to just create that space for you to be you. When you release all these traumas, when a considerable amount of your past experiences, these childhood wounds are gone, you can be so much free, and you can again start to be in the present moment the way you were when you were a child. You will remember it like when you were a child, you used to look at everything with wonder, with everything with curiosity, and everything was new for you, and everything was fresh and beautiful, and it just was, it captivated your imagination. Then when you go through all of these experiences, you kind of lose this perception of the pure perception of just looking at life the way it is and looking at things around you the way they are. And you have a judgment to everything, like, oh, like if I'm looking at a chair right now, this is a chair, okay, the color is brown. There are already these conclusions that I have drawn about this chair, like um, it's shaped like this or something of the sort. Or most times most people will not even look at the chair the way it is. You won't even go into the shape of the chair and everything unless it is something very different, or it's a work of art or something of the sort. So simply, this is just because we don't even see things around us. We live in a space where we are dissociated from truly seeing, from truly being. And instead we live in our minds. We are always contemplating about, what should I do next? Should I go make a cup of tea? Should I go do this now? Okay, I have to do my work now. Oh, what if this person is doing something? Oh, let me see YouTube now. Or, let me go out today. The mind is always thinking about the future, and the mind hates to be in the present moment. And this is what, your twin flame helps you to release, because the divine feminine is somebody who exists in the present moment. She has value in her life, the way she's living her life. She values her life. She knows the significance of her life, and she knows the secret of life by just her state of being, by just being present with everything around her. That is truly an awakened feminine, and that is truly a sign of balanced energies. So, and when you live in that state, you will naturally value life, because life is not here forever. We are not going to be here forever, right? We are just temporarily passing through this life form that we have right now. So automatically a gratitude will come in for what you do have. Like a gratitude for the food you're eating. Some days, like I remember this had happened with me um, back in the day, when I remember one day, I was really upset with the food that I was eating, and I was trying to restrict my meals to just 2 meals a day. And so when I became very hungry when I ate my first meal, and I remember just looking at the food and thinking, oh, this is not delicious, and this is not like this, and I wish there was something else on the plate, or something of the sort. Like, I just remember being in this space of complaining about the food that was I was plating for myself. And when I sat down to eat it, I just looked at the food and I felt so connected. Suddenly I felt like privileged, to just have a plate of food in front of me. I could see especially the live food on the plate, like if you have fruits or you have sprouts or something of the sort, which you can just see are like alive. And it filled me with so much love and so much gratitude that I had a plate full of food, and this life was going to give itself up for me to nourish myself. And suddenly that shift just happened when I had looked at the plate, and suddenly I dissociated from that space of being in the mind and being all like complaining about what was not accepting what was, and shifting into a space of immense gratitude. And then I even had an insight about um, deciding for myself, because when I was visiting my family at the time. So it was just, I just realized, why don't I just cook my own, the food that I like, because I normally eat different from my palate is different from the palate of people around me. So sometimes I just realized, why am I stopping myself from just doing my own cooking, even if somebody else is coming to cook the food, or even if there is a structure or something, I can still operate and do this for myself. But simply speaking, for what I had, there was so much shift there in terms of shifting into gratitude for what you do have. And this was the realization, that now when I'm remembering this incident, and it just made me realize that when we operate in this mind about the twin flame connection, like many divine feminines tend to do that, especially in the journey when the energies are not balanced. What it does is, you're fixated on, why is it not like this, why is it not like that, why is my twin flame not contacting me, or why is he talking to somebody else, or why is he trapped in these connections, or something of the sort. But if you will just sit for a minute and just look at what is really happening, how your twin is really helping you ascend on the journey, how this connection is so beautiful and so powerful, that they have taken their role so seriously, of triggering you into your awakening, of bringing you back to presence, bringing you back to who you are, by mirroring to you all your traumas and all your past pain, so that those can be released and those can be removed from your life, and you no longer sort of struggle, with that pain. You no longer sort of hold on to that past perception of living a very limited life, a life where there is no gratitude, a life where there is more complaining, and a kind of an unconscious way in which we see everyone living life, in which we see the whole world is just sort of complaining about life, complaining about everything that they have. The focus is always on what they don't have, the focus is always on what somebody else is doing wrong, or how the partner they have is wrong, or the children have done something wrong, or their parents are wrong, or the dog is wrong, or the politics of the world is wrong. The entire, like, it's like, especially in today's world, because of social media and in general a very hyperactive media and so many media channels, there is a whole focus on complaining. You're being paid to literally complain about what is wrong. Like critically, in academia, for instance, I have an academic training. So when I was doing my masters, it was such a rigorous course where everything was about critically analyzing everything. So I remember for one essay that I had to write, for one of the courses, long time ago now, but I I had to criticize a government policy that, I fictitiously, I had to pick up any kind of a policy that was in place and just basically write a critical, analysis of it, like what is really wrong with it. And I remember even at that time when I was barely, I hadn't awakened or anything at that time, but I just remember thinking, do we have to criticize everything? You know, is it really important? What if there are some things which are great here? Look at the context in which this policy is happening, right? But the whole academic training, basically the intellectual merit of an individual, is based on how well can they criticize something, right? How well can they put something down, right? This is what you see happening today in most of the leftist circles, for that matter. Like anything that comes out, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, you know or even in the extreme right circles, it's the same thing. Anything that the opposite party tends to do, or people who don't have the same opinions as you have to shout and you have to sort of just complain about it. you know it'll vary from in each country what the politics is like, but essentially a mark of an intelligent person is the basically somebody who complains, and who can complain better. Can you complain in more detail about something? Can you really go nitpick flaws and really try to find out what is wrong with this person or what is wrong with this situation? So our minds are trained like that. So what I experienced was just the training of the mind, but simply speaking, this is not going to function when we come into a spiritual awakening. You let go of this need to criticize, and you shift into deep acceptance of things the way they are. In fact, the more inner work you do, the more you realize that things are perfect. Whatever you went through is perfect. There is a divine perfection, there is a karmic justice that is always the undercurrent of the situations that one faces in life. So you no longer protest, you no longer oppose, you no longer sort of, um, ask why did this happen. You're like, okay, it happened. You can ask the why, you can understand it, and then you can accept it. But you don't have to sit and you don't have to fight it. You don't have to fight the flow. And in this journey, this is the journey where you don't swim upstream, you literally just float downstream. You go with the flow of what is happening. There is so much wisdom in the divine flow, in the divine will. And like I always say, that if you make God your partner in this journey, God will speed things up for you, God will speed up your healing in a very powerful way. Every day, if you connect with God, God will show you what needs to go away from your life. God will bring you the right guidance, the right opportunities, the right resources as well, for you to take that next step, for you to shift out of your current state. And this is exactly what human beings actually need. We are so dissociated from our divine self, and the divine flow, the divine love, our divine nature, and we are very identified with the physical 3D matrix of controlling, of complaining, of wondering why are things not happening according to my expectations. And this is exactly what your twin flame does. Like, they tell you that you can't have life run because of the way your mind is conditioned into expecting things. Just because the mind is conditioned into having a certain template of everything, that's not the way it'll work. You have to surrender, you have to allow things to be, you have to see the perfection of things the way they are. And that is what, your divine masculine always teaches you. They play their role perfectly in the journey of triggering you, of making you see your own value, and of loving yourself, of accepting yourself, knowing the truth of who you are, as separate from all these painful experiences that you go through. And healing is such a natural process on the journey. Naturally, the wounds that need to go now will come up. The more you work on them, the more you stay present with them, the more consistently you work with stuff that comes up for you repeatedly, and finally, like, deroot it and release it at the source, from where it is coming. You will stop being triggered in those places, and you can move to the next level. So it naturally happens. There is a natural wisdom to the Shakti, there is a natural wisdom to your life, okay? So this is all I wanted to speak about today, and I'm sending you a lot of love. And if you want to book a one-on-one session with me, my email address is on your screen. I'm a complete life at gmail.com. And you can simply click on the link below that I have shared in the description box, simplymeet.me/I'm a complete life. You can go and see the kinds of packages that I'm offering, my availability, as well as the pricing. And then you can email me, or you can directly book, from the available time slots. If you need more time slots, or the time slot that you can see on a particular date is not convenient for you, you can email me, and there is flexibility there, okay, about the time and the dates. So have a beautiful day. Take care. Bye.